All right, shalom, 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 family. Shalom, shalom. Once again, you're not under the sounds of the voice of your good brother Kahan Tazadaq, and this is Yahweh Swat. Since we're going to be talking about commerce, contracts, laws, contract, and this PPP account, and the Treasury Direct Account, and your birth certificate bond, I will have to start by saying this is not legal advice. I do not offer legal advice. If you need legal advice, seek yourself a competent counsel. And then please be advised. Everything I'm about to give you is strictly for educational, informational, and entertainment purposes only. Don't take this as legal advice. I'm not suggesting that anyone read my lips and listen to my verbiage. I'm not suggesting that anyone try anything that I've tried or that I have done. This is for educational purposes only. I'm only revealing to you what I know has worked for me and has worked for others that have successfully carried these things out. Now, first, I want to give a big up to all my loyal subscribers over the years. I'm actually going to be reconstructing my channel here. I've been spending the last 2 or 3 days just putting in different, I guess, thumbnails, different keywords. I really haven't been given a lot of concentration towards the channel. And a lot of those people, those debtors that I was actually previously allowed on the channel with me, they will not be attending with me anymore. I built this channel up by myself, and I brought a lot of debtors around, and unfortunately, looks like they've been bringing about its demise because I've been actually losing view counts, and I give these people an opportunity to come on my platform and shine, and chose not to do so. So, woe is done. But nevertheless, let me go into this now. I know many of you are aware of this PPP loan, right? There's been a lot of people that actually approached me. The reason I'm actually doing this particular stream right here is because I've been approached by various people stating, Tazadaq, what do you think about the PPP loan? I'm thinking about getting a PPP loan for my business, they say. And I said, well, that's for small businesses. You don't have a loan. I mean, you don't have a business. And they said, well, they don't know. So I'm going to do this because many of you, if you've done this already and you don't have a business, you're literally guilty of fraud. If you've actually received the PPP loan, let's say you got one in the amount of $30,000 and you withdraw $7,000 to give to someone else, that is known as fraud. And so the FBI is actually doing investigations on those of you that has actually fraudulently applied for and received PPP loans, right? There are indictments coming down. There was one lawyer got over $9 million fraudulent PPP loans. There was another person that he created a lot of fictitious names, and he got millions of dollars in PPP loans posing as businesses. And so, as usual, many of you want to get on board, just like you did. I remember years back when I had to warn you about the repercussions of the Treasury Direct Account, that accident and Tucci was thrown in front of your face. I came and I done a video on that topic to clear it up, which probably saved many of you a deluge of jail time. Those that didn't listen was federally indicted. They didn't have the currency to pay it back once they done a reverse on the account. So it is with the PPP loans. Now, the United States government is giving billions, not millions, but billions to so-called minority-owned businesses in what is known as PPP loans. So the day that the federal government launched the Paycheck Protection Program, that's what the PPP is an acronym for, Paycheck Protection Program. The day that the government launched the Paycheck Protection Program to give forgiveness for loans to small businesses. So let's examine that right there. Small businesses. You have individual debtors, right? A regular old Joe participating in fraudulent activities, claiming to be a business, claiming that they own a business, thinking that the de facto is not going to find out. Let me tell you something, man. Everything that goes in your bank account is reported to the Alphabet Group, IRS. So if you are one of these debtors that's actually received that loan under the guise of being a small business, I'm here to tell you, you will be federally indicted. Now, let me tell you this. You're not looking at state punishment. You're looking at Fed time. In Fed time, you're going to do 80% of that. And I'm talking to many of you right now because many of you are guilty of this. I mean, our people are foolish, man. Fulfilling the scriptures again, it says they're like Scottish children. You always partake in some practice that you shouldn't be in. So the day that the federal government launched the Paycheck Protection Program, the PPP, forgivable loans to small businesses, due to this economic fallout, and now, the COVID-19 pandemic, you have people that's actually been sending applications in. Case in point, since this is public information, I'll disclose the name. A shalom, logic before authority. There's a man by the name of Andre, 38 years old. Of Arc Stovers, right? Of an IT, information technology service company, right? In Miami Gardens. This is predominantly a so-called African-American neighborhood north of Miami Beach. This man, allegedly, he said he's seen the revenue drop approximately 25%. And so he was attempting to avoid laying off employees. He uses the term that he was desperate. And so he said he's recruiting the long days and nights of anxiety, recounting them. The long days and nights of anxiety over the fate of his business, a business that he started back in 2010. And it was literally one of Florida's fastest growing tech companies. So what did he do? He decided to apply for a PPP loan. Application went through, just like some of you. I've heard, matter of fact, Jeremiah, I think I might have heard you say that. I've heard all kind of people that don't have no damn business talking about getting a PPP loan. Well, if you're looking to do Fed time, I won't stop you because they will seek you out. Don't think some of you have actually done it already and you think you've gotten away with it. But the FBI is doing investigations as we speak for your fraudulent activity. You're listening to what the hood says or what someone else says. Oh, they can't catch you. They won't know who it is. Okay, well, roger that. Good luck with that. Now, from the start, this guy that I'm talking about, Andre in Miami, Florida, there was no communication about his application. It went through. The process went through. It went through very smoothly, just like many of you. And then there was silence. Almost a month later, he's still waiting. He didn't get qualified. Some of you that don't have a business have received a loan fraudulently, posing as though you have a business. But this man, Andre, he said as a minority-owned based business, he's been sidelined by the program for the PPP loan. But you got you people out there that don't have a business that's engaging in fraudulent activities. So, to those of you unaware, there's been a lot of fraud. There's been a deluge of fraud occurring with these PPP loans. People allegedly having small businesses that they don't really have, and they're getting this money and they say, well, it's free money. It's not free. It's for small businesses and people that's actually incapable of paying them back. What about the so-called black female? I think she's in Tennessee. She went and got the fiat. They found out she didn't have a business. Now she tried to start a GoFundMe page to pay the damn money back. She's been indicted. She's been federally indicted. So I want all of you under the sounds of my voice tonight. The PPP loan is a federal funded program. If you fraudulently receive that fiat, you will do 80% of the time if indicted. This is one thing about the feds I'm gonna warn you people about. They're not like your local police department. They're really good at what they do. They're really good at what they do. And they don't come after you until they have enough to bury you. They will allow you to keep doing what you're doing. I hope I'm making some of you afraid right now because you deserve to be. You shouldn't have done it. They will wait until they have a deluge of information on you, and then they will come to bury you. There was a lawyer that was charged with fraudulently obtaining more than $9 million in the PPP, the Paycheck Protection Program loans on behalf of 3 businesses. Jay Choi allegedly fabricated the existence of hundreds of employees. He manipulated bank and tax records and falsified driver's license when he submitted applications to 3 different lenders on behalf of 3 businesses that purported to provide educational services according to court documents. It's public information. If you doubt what I'm saying, go and look up the name Jay Choi, Jechoi. And many of you are going to be brought up on federal charges. Just like I warned you to stay away from that withdrawing funds from the Treasury Direct Account when accident and Tucci was fabricating stories that resulted in many of you being indicted for having to pay large amounts back or get thrown in the brick, in the pen, in the box. So this guy Jay Choi does it. He's doing what you guys are doing. I mean, person after person has come to me, and I call them persons because that's what they are. They come to me and say, Tazadaq, what do you think? I'm thinking about getting a PPP. I said, you don't have a business, brother. Sister, why'd you do that? It's free money. So say you. You say it. Think it's free? Keep going. And to those of you that's already done it, what was you? You're in a flush toilet. See, you do what you see. This is a problem about debtors. You do what you see everyone else doing without ever considering the circumstances. Like this guy, Jay Choi, he was a lawyer, a lawyer. 9 million. Falsifying documents for 3 businesses. He was charged with 3 counts of bank fraud, 1 count of money laundering at his initial appearance before the U.S. Magistrate Judge James Clark III of the District of New Jersey. Have you done this? Have you got one of these PPP loans and you don't even have a business? You a nigga on the hood. You like this so-called black woman in Tennessee. She goes and buy clothes. One dude goes and spend, it was $70,000, man. At Saks Fifth Avenue. They look at you, they know you a Negro from the hood, ain't got no bread like that. Are you kidding me? See, these PPP loans, to those of you that may be unaware, they were part of a federal coronavirus relief and economic security known as CARES. CARES, right? CARES. The CARES Act, which went into law on March the 29th. See, supposedly this was designed to provide emergency financial relief to millions of Americans who were suffering the economic effects of the coronavirus pandemic. You guys turned it into what? You turned it into a fashion show. You're going to get trucks, cars. I know you didn't have that before. Where's your business? What are you going to do when they ask you, where is your business? You say, I'm going to go and start one. You have to actually already had the business, and you got to be able to show that the business was suffering. That means you fraudulently produced something to get that loan. So the Paycheck Protection Program, the PPP loan, has been something of a whirlwind, as hundreds of billions were quickly shoveled out. People just take it. I'm going to get me one. I hardly know one of you that haven't said to me, Tazadaq, what do you think about it? I say, man, I won't touch it, man. I won't touch it with a basketball pole. Not at all. You know how I feel about their benefits. There's always consequences, especially when you get them fraudulently. So you had thousands of accountants that found themselves drafted into service as loan agents, mostly unpaid agents. There's a recent case, right? Another recent case that I'm looking at, PPP fraud. There's a lot of complaints that's actually been filed in recent cases that's actually been outlined by the Department of Justice. Everybody's name that's guilty of fraud of a PPP loan is now public. It's public information. So I'm not really airing nobody out if I call names. But they already been charged. I don't want to make them more famous. The Florida man I was talking about, it was another Ohio guy. I call him OG in FN for Florida man, an Ohio guy. I'm not going to make him famous on this channel, right? See, the way that these cases, let me tell all of you that's doing this illegally, and listen well, the way that these cases got rolling is from complaints filed by the federal law enforcement seeking an arrest warrant. The complaints make interesting readings. It's public information. You go and check them out for yourself. The Florida man's complaint was prepared by the IRS. See, the IRS is the one that's going to air you out, man. They're going to report you to the feds. The Florida's man complaint was prepared by the IRS/CI Special Agent Michael Benjamin. The Ohio guy's complaint was prepared by the FBI Special Agent Matthew. They both make good reading for all of you that went out there and fraudulently got these PPP loans. Get ready for it, man. Get ready for it, because they're all coming for you. I've been telling you for years. You already had unlimited credit. You didn't believe Tazadaq. But there's a scheme going on with these PPP. You know you don't deserve no damn loan. What did I do? I warned you for years about taking governmental benefits. It always comes with a consequence, and now you want to do it fraudulently? Really? There's a tremendous scheme going on with these PPP loans. If you know anyone that's trying to talk you into this, man, stay the hell away from it. Stay away from it. Now, if you legitimately have a business and your business went under and you don't mind accepting something from the federal government, then to each his own. I prefer not to. I prefer not to, because that always comes with consequences. Now, on the flip side of that, the PPP loan that one really should be paying attention to is the Treasury Direct Account, which essentially is which is built off the birth certificate bond. Now, here's what folks screwed it up. You went in and you tried to take out fiat currency. That's wrong, man. See, that's what accident told you to do. And Heather Palucci, right? She polluted your thinking. Now she's in the bin. I put out a video that warned you that, goddamn near 200,000 views. Saved a lot of you from Fed time. Now, instead of the PPP loan, what if, as Tazadaq has done, one was to redeem their birth certificate? Now, let me show you something real quick. Let me teach you something real quick. I don't usually put this stuff if it's not on my private meetings and webinars. But I'm going to show you something. I'm going to give you guys a little treat here. I'm going to show you the stuff that was actually being put out there. Well, let me share my screen real quick. Let me make this abundantly clear. I, Tazadaq, am not suggesting, let me look in this camera, man. Look at my eyes. I'm not suggesting that any of you access your Treasury Direct Account and go and withdraw funds. The only reason I ever needed to access my Treasury Direct Account is because to discharge debt. it gives me unlimited credit. Not according to anything that Tazadaq has said. Make no mistake about that. I want you to go and check out and research everything that I'm telling you right now. I dare you to do so. Only if you could overcome aphasia, I would be able to get in. But your cognitive dissonance is blocking the message, the information that I project to you. And fear, silence your uproar for freedom. Your fear, silence your quest for freedom. But nevertheless, the Treasury Direct Account, Kahan Tazadaq's authorized representative only accessed it to have unlimited credit to discharge, set off, and settle and close debts. Don't call me, don't email me asking how you're supposed to make a living if you're not working in the system. That is not my responsibility to figure out. That is yours. I can only tell you what the authorized representative of Kahan Tazadaq is doing, and I'm living very well. So with that being said, let me show you my screen right here. Okay. Treasury Direct. For our process, one must create a corporate LLC so one may set up a commercial pass through the account setting off debts. Very simple. And the UCC has to state the collateral in which the fund, which will fund the trust, right? Very simple. Therefore, make sure the birth certificate bond number is listed as the collateral in your account statement. 100 million. If you become a secured party creditor, this is done already. If you became a secured party creditor through the deprogramming Lightner, that's done already. 100 million is recognized in all trading platforms. The platform will only recognize this amount. This is one way accident and DeLucci screwed it up. The platform will only recognize this amount. It could also be broken down into $10 million blocks by financial institution. So, in order that it clears, number one, for educational purposes only, of course, I'm not suggesting that anyone do this. Did I tell anyone to do this, Eric White? No. Look. Redeem the birth certificate. It's the first step in the process. Number two, file the UCC-1 the redemption states. If you became a secure party creditor by way of the deprogramming Lightner, that's done also already. Post your bond with Treasury. Done already. Once you receive confirmation, which is a green card, green return receipt back from Treasury bond, is activated. Number five, apply for a CUSIP number. I have a video online that shows one how to apply for a CUSIP number. Just go to my channel right here, Deprogramming Lightner. Done already. Number six, open a commercial account with the Treasury Direct Account. Very simple to do. Very, very simple to do. Number eight, Salakia. Number seven, apply for the DTC registration. I was talking about the DTC in the video. Apply for DTC registration. Obtain trust counsel. Number eight, bond becomes live again on the stock market. I can't make this shit up, man. I'm not telling no one to do this. I want you to just go and research this yourself, man. I never put anything out there to any of you, man, that you came back and you told me, Tazadaq, that was wrong. I'm still waiting for that day. I always cross-reference everything and double-check it, man, before I state anything. Number nine, pull down funds from the Treasury Direct Account to pass through the account. Number 10, start setting off charges. Now, this is where Accident and Delucci, who was Delucino, if there's such a word, sounds very similar to delusional, got you guys screwed up and you started to get indictments. Kahan Tazadaq tells you to discharge debts for settlement and closure. Accident was telling you to go and withdraw funds, getting you indicted. I'm not going to let him leave you like that. If you don't have a small business that's in jeopardy, stay the hell away from the PPP loan. Stay the hell away, or you're going to get federally indicted. Stay the hell away. Number 11, you could walk into any private bank or credit union with this process and get cash from this commercial account. Stop. Even though this could be done, I don't recommend it. Why, Tazadaq? Why don't you recommend it? Because everyone that is actually withdrawn, it was reversed. They got reversals. And they drew such large amounts when they reversed it, they was unable to pay it. And therefore was federally indicted. I just use it for settlement and closure. Understand that? I didn't tell neither one of you to do any of this. Not one of you. Not either one of you. So tells the dog, give me some more. Okay, I'll give you a little more. Step 11. Just in case you thought I said something else, turn it up so you can hear me. I'm not telling none of you to go to withdraw anything. Step 11. You can walk into any private bank or credit union with this process and get cash from the commercial account. I've seen it done. I don't recommend it. They all got hit with reversals. In the past, you could only settle off bills and access credit. That's all I still do. Why, Tazadaq? Why do you only still do that? What about where everyone? I don't give a damn what everyone else is saying, man. I tell them to show me the law. No one has actually been able to show me the law to this day that say you could go into an account and withdraw funds and get a black card. That's why you people keep getting in trouble. And you've seen Kahan Tazadaq around for over a decade. You see me. You saw me back in 2011, 2010, 2009. Over a decade. Still standing on all 10. Both hands in the air. You understand what I'm talking about? But you keep doing it your way, man. And you keep falling like dominoes listening to a bunch of debtors or these YouTubers that don't really give a damn about your fate, man. I do this for the love of it, man, because that's what the Most High gave me to do, man, to try and facilitate right knowledge to people, man. That's what I do. That's my life. I teach real life, and I will never set you up to do something, man, that's going to jeopardize you or your family members. I'm not immoral like that. I have too many morals for that. I do this for the betterment of man in general, not any particular man or any particular race. Make sure when you receive the 1099 INT, you file the tax return and put back 10% of it. Again, this is for educational purposes only. I'm not telling any of you to do this. Problem is, when I tell you to go and listen to these videos over and over and over again, you don't do it. I tell you to listen to at least 10 times. Anything that you draw off of this account, to be paid directly to the IRS. That's it. You're all set. That's where you want to go. That's what they tell you, right? That's what Tucci and them told you, right? Now, let me give you some real remedy, man. Let me give you some real remedy. If you're not subscribed to this channel, it would be a good idea to subscribe and take time to watch the content. This type of channel right here is a learning platform. But I challenge you to question everything that you hear coming from any of my streams and the videos. Go and check it out for yourself. Don't trust anything I'm saying. Do your own due diligence and research. Only then will you be in the valley of decision to decide what you would like to do, how you would like to proceed. All I know is I'm just an agreed man trying to facilitate you with right knowledge for the upliftment and betterment of man. So instead of the PPP loan, why are folks not redeeming the birth certificate bond? Kahan Tazadaq told him about, well, where's 1 Foot Terrence? He should be on here because you need this. See, the people that really need this information, you're never around when you should be. Is it possible to void and cancel a state-issued birth certificate, Rodriguez? Or a certificate of birth? What do you think about that, Rodriguez? I say Kahan. What about it, Ivy? Is it possible? What about it, Eric White? You need to listen very closely, Eric White. I say Kahan, it is possible. I've done it. See, let me give you a little bit of history. Let me make this all make sense to you. Well, to those that can receive it. Everyone can't receive this. This is not for everyone. And if you can't get it because it's not meant for you, understand that. Now, since the United States Corporation, there's 2 United States. I was initially going to talk about that today, but I thought this to be more important since people are just ODing with the PPP loan type thing, right? Shalom, Christian Moore. What's going on with you, King? A queen. My bad. You get that packet yet, Christian? So since the U.S. went bankrupt in 1933, all new legal tender, what's going on, Paul? So-called legal tender has to be borrowed into existence. There is no money. The banks just have the money. You understand that? The Rothschilds, the Rothschilds, Red Shields have the money. The Rockefellers. You understand what I'm talking about? The Majestic 12, the Bilderbergs. They have the money. You call them the Illuminati, you call them the banksters, man, because they control the banks. Right? They have the money. So all states started issuing serial numbers, which are essentially certified warehouse receipts. And I wish I had a dollar bill or something on me. Same type of serial number that's on the Social Security is on a dollar bill. It's on a $20, on $100. Same type of serial number. I don't have my wallet with me right now, so I can't really show you. But so they started issuing warehouse receipts for births and for marriages in order to pledge the people as collateral. Those loans and those municipal bonds taken out with Federal Reserve banks. But the full faith and credit of the American people is said to be that which backed this nation's national debt. What does that mean? Well, essentially that means that the American people's ability to labor and pay back the debt is the only thing that keeps America afloat. So in order to catalog it as laborers, the USGOV needed an efficient methodological system of tracking its property to that end. What is its property? Your its property. I know a lot of you, yeah, strong man, are you? I don't want to hear that. Well, maybe you should listen. Maybe you should listen. Because the people that's telling you that they don't want to hear it, those are the people that's in control of you, and they're manipulating your thinking. I am attempting to liberate your thinking, which is why I wrote a book called Liberate the Oppressed. Matter of fact, click the link below this video and order my books. It would be wiser you to order all of them, to include the flash drive. That's an investment in life, which essentially is an investment in change. You can order them from the website, www.truedisciplesofchrist.org/shop. So that simply means that the American people's ability to labor and to pay back the debt is what this United States corporation stands on. And so in order to catalog its labor, the USGOV needed an efficient methodological system of tracking its property to that particular end. See, humans today are simply looked on merely as resources. I say the humans are looked upon today as resources, right? So each and every one of you, you go into a just over broke, and that just over broke has a human resource department because you are a human resource. You're a commodity. I don't mean to insult anyone, but I pray that you listen and you can receive this. But why do you think when you call to see if a company is hiring, you go through the division known as the human resource? Because you, my brother, you, my sister, are in fact a human resource. The people are resources to the government. The birth certificates are the security on the New York Stock Exchange. Don't believe me? Go and check it out for yourself. Go and check it out for yourselves. It's also on the World Stock Exchange, in which the American people are worth money to the international bank that brought the government in the 1930s. You didn't know that America was for sale and was sold? Sure, it was sold in the 1930s to the banksters. Yeah, brothers and sisters, it started with World War I and then World War II. See, the USGOV assigned a dollar value to the heads of citizens in America. It began July 14, 1862, when President Lincoln literally offered 6% interest-bearing bonds to those states that freed their slaves on a per-head basis. That was Lincoln that coined that. See, the USGOV knows that they could only extract so much fiat out of the economy. So the idea is to bankrupt private owners so that the banks who are behind the syndicate become the owner of all the assets in the country. And this is what has happened. You understand that, right, Triggers? That's the real scheme. They jail you for PPP loan fraud. You didn't have a business. What about their scheme? Well, you can't jail them because they gave you a remedy. And every time someone like Kahan Tazadaq rise up and tell you the remedy, you say, oh, that's fraud. It's not real. Straw man argument. Well, the Most High Yahweh has a funny way of showing you things. Right? You never anticipated coming from a little Negro from the hood, from the ghetto. Never thought that, did you? Because you was too damn truculent. You never thought that he would use a little Negro from the hood to teach you to overcome aphasia and to be utterly didactic each time that he's articulated himself to you. But he goes over most of your heads. Don't mind you that. So by encouraging Congress to spend money it doesn't have, Congress has to turn around and lean on the American labor and the American private property for collateral. See, they do that by fraudulent conversion of what? Of birth certificates. Case in point, right? They charge you with PPP loan fraud, but they're doing it with fraudulent conversion of birth certificates. See, there is a way out. That's how I came up. There's a way out. There's a way that you can live free, but you have to be willing to listen and willing to burn the midnight oil and truly study. Right? Why you're not on the webinars each weekend? I'm rebuilding this channel right now, man. I'm doing the thumbnails. I'm putting certain keywords because enough people haven't been. This channel has been ostracized. This channel has been blackballed. Many of you are not even getting the notifications. How with over 42,000 subscribers, you got 10, 11 people on. Something's very wrong with that, man. You think I don't know that? It's because many of these other YouTubers, it's just for entertainment and all of that. See, you can't be a thinker like Kahan Tazadaq. You can't be a man that's moving for the betterment of humanity in general, for the upliftment of people, because then you become dangerous and you will be dealt with. So the real scheme is that they're engaged in liens on the American people, on the American people's property, the fraudulent conversion of the birth certificate, right? See, they make counterfeit copies and they forward those birth certificates to the Department of Commerce in Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. What? They forward them there to the Department of Commerce in D.C. The Department of Commerce does the same thing. They make certified copies and they forward them to the international mother, you know what? The IMF, the International Monetary Fund. Of course, in the street, we call it something else. Where? In Brussels, Belgium. Now calm down. Now calm down. In the tone of David, now calm down. Don't get excited. Well, now, this is the center of the hub of the banking syndicate. And they are, of course, loaning those huge sums to various governments around the world, including the Congress of the U.S. corporation. See, the Congress needs something for collateral. And what they use for collateral are the birth certificates. Well, I can't make this up, man. I dare you to go and research everything I'm saying right here. They get treated as certificates in equity, which matures on the 18th birthday. When you become the legal age of majority, if you're in New York State, it's 16. So the 18th birthday, Shalom, what's going on, Marty, Mar? You're missing some very important information right here. So the 18th birthday of the person whose names appears on the birth certificate, the bank then keeps tracks of these and use those numbers that any particular nation has available as a collateral on the national debt, right? As performance units. So on the international debts, these certificates in equity end up being regarded as performance units on the international debt. See, the more of those you have, the more money you can borrow. Do you understand? Do you understand? It's like this. Watch this, watch this. The more collateral I have, the more money I could borrow from the banks, and the more I can secure. So the USGOV are securing their international debts by leaning on the persons and property of you, their US citizens. They're doing this on a massive scale and technically a fraudulent conversion of the birth certificate, because if they did that with your birth certificate, they never told you they was doing it, did they? They never told you they were obtaining a lien on your person and starting a third-party debt that you're responsible for. Did they ever tell you that? J Baby? They ever tell you that? Sam? But you want the PPP loan, and you don't even have a small business. You're about to get indicted. All of you that did that, you're about to get indicted. Your real PPP loan, you already had, man. It's called the TDA. It's called accepted for value. It's called EFT. It's called OID. It's called the redemption process through the blood of a Mashiach Yahweh. There's your PPP loan. You have unlimited credit. You just don't know how to use it, and you're too afraid to listen to Kahan Tazadaq. They never told you any of this. You had no meaningful choice in this matter, brothers and sisters. You had no meaningful choice in this matter. I'm Justin Farrell. Which makes it unconscionable, right? That's an unconscionable contract then. You don't comprehend contract law? Start attending my webinars. Get my books. Click the link below this video. Order my books. Order my flash drives. Think you don't need it until you get in trouble. You dig? In the voice of Morty Ma, you better dig. Now, in 1921, the federal shepherd, let me tell you how this thing happened. Let me give you some research, because I'm also a historian, right? So in 1921, the federal shepherd Towner Maternity Act created what is known as a birth registration, or what we know now as the birth certificate, right? It was known as the Maternity Act. Essentially, that was for women, right? And it was sold to the American people as law that will reduce maternal and infant mortality and protect the health of the mother and the infant, and for other purposes. That's how they sold it to you. Same way they selling you, well, we gotta take away semi-automatic weapons and so on and so forth. They selling you the same thing, man. They selling you dreams that become nightmares. And you sleeping like damn Whip Van Winkle. And they're going to turn into damn Freddy Krueger in your damn dream. You understand that? When your ass wake up from sleep, they're going to be chasing you to Camp Crystal Lake like you're Jason Voorhees. Like he's Jason Voorhees. So like it. So one of the purposes provided for the establishment of the Federal Bureau designed to cooperate with the state agencies is essentially overseeing its operations and expenditures. But what it really did was create a federal birth registry which exists today, creating U.S. federal children. That's right, you're all federal babies. And Sleeping Joe's your daddy. And Kay Harris is your mama. Or as they say in Canada, mom. So the de facto, the U.S. GOV under the doctrine of parens parte now legislates for American children as if they are owned by the federal government. If you doubt it, some of you in the sound of my voice right now, you probably spank your son or daughter trying to discipline him. Here comes CPS. Fred, send him out to me. I'm not letting you in my house. CPS leaves, come back in 2 hours. She got 5 cops with her. They kick the door in and they snatch their children that you signed over at birth by way of the birth certificate, that live record of birth, and then the birth certificate. Now stop me where I'm lying at. Stop me where I'm lying at. You can't. So, through the public school enrollment process, by the way, the public school is another governmental benefit. You guys just keep accepting these benefits, yet you want to call yourself secure party creditors. Nah, baby, it doesn't work that way. So, through the public school enrollment process, and containing licenses like driver's license, right, hair license, whatever type of license requirements for most aspects of your daily life, right? These children grow up to be adults indoctrinated into the process of asking for permission. They groom them that way in school. They teach them to walk in a single file. They teach them not to ever question their teacher. Don't you dare question authority. We're going to say that you're ADHD if you question authority, even if the authoritative figure is wrong. Don't you dare question authority. Submit, obey. That's their message. So, the children grow up to be adults. That's naturally, this is why many of you can't receive my messages, man. You think you need permission from your daddy, Sleeping Joe, because you're federal babies. You want to ask permission from the government. The government is imposing itself as God. God. Government Ordnance Department. God. Government Ordnance Department. God. That's your God. Your government is your God. It opposes it poses itself, it's imposing itself as God to do all those things necessary to carry out daily activities that exist in what is called a so-called free country. Check this out, right? Before 1921, the records of birth and the names of children were entered in family Bibles. It was entered in family Bibles. It's considered a legal document, and I contend that it still is. Record of birth was listed in family Bibles. This is not one of my ones that have it in there. I have it in a room in one of my bigger Bibles. This one doesn't have the place to list it. Too small and too modernized. But I do have a few that literally have it. So it was listed prior to 1921. The record of the birth and the names of children were listed in the family Bible and the birth names of their children. Right? But since 1921, American people have been registering their children. Let me hit you something now. Marriages were recorded in the family Bible. Prior to 1921, both births and marriages were recorded in family Bibles and were regarded as records of marriage and death in the Bible. These records were readily accepted by both the family and the law as official records. I contend that it still is. Since 1921, American people have been registering the births and names of their children with the government of the state in which they are born, even though there is no federal law requiring it. Show me the law that requires it. I dare any of you on the call right now to show me the law that requires you to register it. Do you understand what register means? When you right now go to a Black Law's dictionary and look up the word to register, it doesn't mean what you think it means in common parlance. To register means to surrender title, to give up true ownership. So when you register anything, when you register your car, you surrender ownership, title. When you register your child or your son or your daughter, it becomes a child and you give up ownership to the state. That's the true meaning of register when you're dealing with legalese, right? That was not required, but you do it anyways. Why? Because everyone else does it. So the state tells you that registering your child's birth through the birth certificate serves as proof that he or she was born in the United States, thereby making him a citizen of the United States, right? Making him a United States citizen. Now, for the past several years, a Social Security number has been mandated by the federal government to be issued at birth. See, in 1933, the bankruptcy was declared by President Roosevelt. Well, the governors of the 48 states pledged full faith and credit that their states including their citizens as a collateral for loans of the credit from the Federal Reserve System that they got from the banksters, who's really not federal at all. The Federal Reserve is about as federal as a Federal Express. You know that truck that you see that competes with UPS? Yeah, they're about that federal. Understand? Full faith and credit clause of the Constitution of the United States, Article 4, Section 1 requires that foreign judgment be given such faith and credit as it had by law or usage of the state of its origin. So foreign status are to have force and effect to which they are entitled in the home state. You understand? So in that, a judgment or record should have the same faith, credit, and conclusive effect, and the obligatory force in the other states as it has by law or usage in the state from which it was taken. So the state By the way, the states are de factos also. The state is a franchisee of the United States, which consists of a 10 square mile radius known as Washington, D.C., that is parts of Virginia and parts of Maryland. They took parts of Maryland and parts of Virginia, and they created a 10-mile radius known as the United States, and they called that Washington, D.C., which is a corporation. Read 28 U.S.C. 3002, subsection 15A. The United States is a federal corporation. I can't make this shit up, man. Go and check it out for yourselves, man. Go and check it out for yourselves. Build swap, man. So the state claims an interest in every child within its jurisdiction. The state will, if it deems it necessary, to nullify your parental rights and appoint a guardian, which is legally a trustee, when you understand legalese, over your child. The subject of every birth certificate is a child. That is the subject of every birth certificate. The child is a valuable asset. Yeah, your child too. Your child too. You understand what I'm talking about? So the child is a valuable asset, which is properly trained, if properly trained, can contribute very valuable assets provided by its labor for many years. Why do you think they teach teachers to not only teach their students, but their parents that the child needs a good education so that they could grow up and get a good job? How many times do you hear me talk about this crap? Most of you in the sound of my damn voice right now, you done been to college, you got all these damn student loans, get a good job, right? Then when they tell you, oh yeah, go and get a mortgage. You're doing it because the Jones are doing it. Get the mortgage, oh, go and get a nice car. And you're in damn debt. So you got your damn degree, you got a student loan that you're never gonna pay back. You keep putting that in deferment, you defer it. You're never going to pay that back. You got a mortgage. It's going to take you 35 years to pay that off. And you got yourself a Benz because you want to live like the Joneses and you couldn't afford it. And you live in a flush toilet. So you couldn't make it. So you had to go back home with mom. But that's the story that they sell you. And you sell it to your children. Oh, go to college, get a good job. Okay, well, roger that. See, they've been making people slaves for years. And no one has ever stopped to think, has stopped to question them on any of this. I question authority. Matter of fact, I got a shirt that says question authority. I want more people to do it. See, the child itself, and when I say child, I'm talking in common parlance. I warn you that the word child is a corporation, but I'm trying to talk to you in a language that you could comprehend. Right? So the child itself, when born, is the asset of the trust established by the birth certificate, and the social security number is the numbering or registration of the trust. That's allowing for the assets of the trust to be tracked, thus making whomever get the birth certificate owned by the state. So if you got a birth certificate, you're owned by the state. I'm not going to leave you like this. There's a way out. There's a way out. I'm not going to leave you like this. I've been telling you for years to become a secure party creditor. What are you waiting for? That is your way out. You don't need a damn PPP loan. You need to learn right knowledge for real. So everyone who has a birth certificate are considered an asset of the bankrupt United States of America, which makes them designated by the government as human resources. Again, Paris Allen, ask yourself, why do you think when you call to see if a company is hiring that you go through a division known as the human resources? Where do you go there? N4L? Why do you go to the human resources? See, today, in common parlance, in colloquial speech, we are defined as human resources we define it to be owned by the government. See, the government now wants us as individuals to be tagged and tracked, government mandated or legislated, national ID cards, one world ID. See, that's unconstitutional. That's unconstitutional anyway, man. That's unconstitutional any way that you look at that. Federal jurisdiction to legislate for the several states does not exist. They have no legislation for ordering you to have an identification card. Show me the law. Show me the legislation that they have for ordering you to have an identification card. Show me the law where they can mandate to you get Obamacare. I'm not talking public policy. They don't have that jurisdiction, family. Oh, you got to get a healthcare card and so on and so forth. But they know the people are ignorant. No, you're not even ignorant. You're ignorant. You say, no, you ignorant as hell, right? You're ignorant of the law. But ignorance of the law is no excuse. Remember that. So therefore, ignorance of the law of the people, the government is allowed to freely at will come up with all kind of forms of taxation, right? Against the American people. The birth certificate proves that you're national property of the international bank. The birth certificate thus becomes a form of theft. The theft of the child's true identity as a free child of Yahweh Shah, of the Most High and His Son, the Most High in Christ, to be a servant of the state is what they're converting you into. By affixing a national seal of approval to the child, the state denies the freedom, rights, and dignity that Yahweh, the Most High Almighty, has ordained in the scriptures. You don't need proof that you were born, family. You don't need that. You're breathing, aren't you? The hell you mean I need proof? I'm breathing, aren't I? You breathing is proof enough, right? For these damn hypocrites. See, by requiring a license, the state is claiming complete control and ownership over your liberty and your property. You understand that? Do you understand? Do you understand? Christ's assembly does not exist on paper. Understand that, brothers and sisters. But he's going to write it in the heart. True heart is your mind, man, of men, and is expressed in the outward acts. But because there's no breath of life from Yahweh in these pieces of paper like birth certificates, we should not look to them for any form of authority, right? For doing anything. Each of us are sovereign, man. We came out of the womb sovereign. And each of us was given unalienable rights. They call it inalienable rights, right? They're unalienable rights because you cannot put a lien on them, right? We was given these by our Creator. We do not need to have our birth registered. First, Let me say this. There is a tremendous legal difference between state-issued birth certificate and certificate of birth, as they call it, and a certified copy of a live birth. A certificate, as the word is used today, is not lawfully the same as a certified copy. A birth certificate is issued by the state to conform with the federal requirements under the purported necessity of the vital statistics, right? Case in point, let me use, for example, Florida, right? The Florida Department of Health Office of Vital Statistics issues these statutory certificates. The names are spelled in all capital letters and conform to the federal law regulations. Prior to the 1860s, brothers and sisters, the only certificate of birth came from the church, not from the state or government. It always came from the church. The church required 2 Christian witnesses to attest to by the signatures and seals of the birth, be it a live birth or a stillborn birth. The church viewed the living or dead. The birth was to be attested to under the affirmation and before the supreme Elohim, Yahweh, that you call God. Webster's Dictionary defines certificate as thus: Webster's Dictionary, certificate. I'll post that in the room for you, Paris, Allen. Certificate, in a more particular sense, the written declaration under the hand or seal or both of some public officer to be used as evidence in court or to substantiate a fact. A certificate of this kind may be considered as given under the oath of office. Trial by certificate is where the evidence of the person certifying is the only prior criterion of point in dispute, as when issue is whether a person was absent in the army. This is tried by the certificate of the Marshal of Army in writing under seal. Certify. What does it mean to certify? To certify, to in writing, to make a declaration in writing, underhand or hand and seal, to make known or to establish. Number 2, to give certain formations to apply to persons. We have sent and certified King Ezra 4 and 3. Certificate, 9 Middle Eastern. Certificate, the Middle French from medieval Latin. Certificatum from late Latin. So the birth certificate essentially, family, it makes you a slave. It makes you a debtor slave. It places you in servitude. So Tazadaq, what's the remedy? Well, the birth certificate is essentially a bond. And I contend I don't need a PPP loan when I have unlimited credit, because the birth certificate is a bond. The certificate of registration of the live birth is, by banking definition, term a certified or certificated security. A certificated security. That's what the birth certificate is defined in banking law. It's a certificated security. So the application they made was known as an application for a live birth certificate. And what's issued from this application is known as the birth certificate. The company that does this is the United States. The company, the United States, kept the original application and gave your parents a copy of the birth certificate. So there is no real gain. Therefore, no income. Therefore, no income tax. You understand what I'm talking about? So the application that they made known was an application for a live birth certificate. And what issue from this application was known as a birth certificate? And this birth certificate created what is known as a foreign citrus trust account. A foreign citrus trust account. So why in the hell do I need a PPP loan if I have a foreign citrus trust account and if I know how to use it effectively, Stephon the Don? So also, when we file for the SS5, right, we allow the company access to our account. When you file for that SS5, our checkbook, as it were, the prepaid account that was set up when our birth certificate was issued. So if I have a prepaid account that was set up when the birth certificate was issued, do I really need a PPP loan? Or do I need to learn how to properly control the account that belongs to Tazadaq? I being his attorney, in fact. Talk back to me, Stephon the Don. We give them permission as signers to write checks on our account, and they do that all of the time. I want you to keep that in mind. Keep in mind, this is the same account that the banksters fractionalized and created huge, almost unlimited sums of money. And we became co-business partners with the company. See, they're able to access and use our prepaid account for whatever they deem necessary. Why? Because you haven't become a secure party creditor and taken control of the account. So they appointed an executor to control your estate, since you never appointed anyone to control your estate. So the company then took the application and pledged your future labor as a guarantee for payment to the banksters, also known as the International Monetary Fund, the IMF. The banksters gave the company a credit for your application against the amount that the company actually owed the banksters, which is at that time above was about $1 million. And it accrues more as you grow, right? The transaction is what is referred to as a money of account. The transactions, as no real money changes hands, it was simply an accounting entry against the debt owed to the banksters by the company known as United States Corporation. What would you say, Tazadaq? I can't make this up. I tell you what to do. 80-30. Fractional banking. If you, meaning your birth certificate, is worth $1 million at birth, that same 1 million out as many as 9 times, thus making your birth certificate worth 9 millions. And it keeps getting larger and larger and larger. How do you take it back, Tazadaq? This sounds interesting. How in the hell do I take it back? Well, go to my website. Authenticate the birth certificate for educational purposes. Become a secure party creditor. See, right now, even though they have no legal right or claim or lien. The banksters control your title, your birth certificate. But you are the only one who could go to the bank and redeem and control that birth certificate, just like the car. The car gives value to the title, to the car. You give value to the title, your birth certificate. Without you, the birth certificate is worthless. Okay, Tazadaq, I like how you talk. And what do? Authenticate your birth certificate. Become a secure party creditor. Authenticate your birth certificate. See, when you receive your authentication from the United States Department of State, your action establishes you as a sovereign, as a creditor. You're from without the United States. You are now a foreign country. Authentication of the public document. See, when a document is to be used in a foreign country, it may be necessary to have the document authenticated. And authenticated certifies the signature and the capacity of the official who has executed the document. The authentication may also authenticate the seal of the official. A certificate of authentication is issued by your Secretary of State to authenticate public documents for use in a country which is not a member of the 1961 Hague Convention, abolishing the requirements of legalization for the foreign public documents. See, as an apostille or a certificate of authentication issued by your Secretary of State is a one-page document with a laser printed facsimile of your Department of State seal. Both the apostille and the certificate of authentication includes the facsimile against your signature of the state or of the state's deputy. Now, I want you to remember this. Certificates of authentication may also require additional certifications from the United States Department of State prior to the submission to the foreign state. If you want to know more about the birth certificate authentication, go to my website, www.truedisciplesofchrist.org/shop, and order how to authenticate your birth certificate DVD. Because you could regain control by authenticating your birth certificate at the U.S. Department of State, Washington, D.C. Again, if you want complete information on how to authenticate the birth certificate, visit my website. You don't need a PPP loan. People are getting indicted from the PPP loan. Some of you prefer the Treasury Direct. Well, I can't tell any of you to do this. Become a secure party creditor. That's what I tell you. What are you waiting for? I've been asking you that for a while. Become a secure party creditor now. What are you waiting for? Got something for you here, right? Let me share my screen again real quick. Some of you came in late. Got a little treat for you. I'm not telling anyone to do this. This is not legal advice whatsoever, right? Okay. Access your My Treasury Direct Account, TDA. In order to receive a CUSIP number, for your birth certificate bond, first you have to file a UCC-1. If you became a secure party creditor by way of the deprogramming lightener, check. It's done already. Once you file your UCC-1 with the becoming a secure party creditor, you file that UCC-1. Check. Done already. Once you file the UCC-1, you get a file number. You create your bond with the UCC trust account. Once you file that UCC-1, you get a UCC file number. Boom. For your UCC-1 trust account. Send your bond to the Secretary of Treasury. When you receive your green card, you will know that they have been notified you have claimed your birth certificate. You could then use your bond number to apply for a CUSIP number. I got a video on this channel right here that teaches one how the authorized representative of Kahan Tazadaq applied for a CUSIP number. You understand? You could do this from www.cusip.com register for a new identifier as a 144A, a private security. If not, you will have to apply through the New York SE Stock Exchange via SEC. Make sure you hire a trust firm to handle your DTC application. You don't know what the DTC is? Go to my channel right after this video and watch my video on the DTC, Depository Trust Corporation. Okay, Tazadaq is sounding good. What's the next step? I'm not going to leave you like that, man. Let me share my screen again. So you have to obtain a CUSIP number for your bank, for your bond. It is illegal to use a CUSIP number from other instruments. It is illegal to use other routing numbers from other banks. You have to set your Treasury account up to get your own routing number. Set up the FR Bank. To offset debts, make sure when you apply for your CUSIP, you apply for a debt instrument if that is what you're going to offset. Set off settlement and closure. Debt. You have to set up the TDA once you have the DTC questionnaire complete, and you will need an advising pass through the bank in order to complete this process. They would be the transfer agent for the Treasury. The RF will not send you funds. Those funds will go directly to passing through the bank for debt offsetting only, which means they will settle the debt from this account. Who's not clear on that? I'm not telling you to do what accident told you to do, to go and withdraw funds. I'm telling you that the authorized representative Kahan Tazadaq has used this for set-off settlement and closure of all alleged debts. The UCC filing number on the paper right-hand corner is the number to use as a bond number. The UCC filing number is used as the bond number, which will reference your birth certificate bond number. The UCC is used as a commerce by corporations. Therefore, you have to file the UCC in order to create commerce. We recently discovered that the bond amount is $100 million. You may not exceed this amount. Once you file the UCC-1 and your UCC trust is set up, I have learned they will then debit your account for the $100 million. After that, you will have to send your bond to the Treasury. So your direct, go to my next thing here. So your direct account, let me enlarge this so you can see it. So that your direct account can be activated. You would then need to set up this account to properly obtain the securities from the Treasury. Third step. What trust firms do you suggest? What fees are involved? How are they compensated? We have been assisted by websites right there. You probably need to watch this video 10 times, man. Again, I'm not telling anyone to do any of this, man. Again, what are the fees involved? How is the firm compensated? Or the fees up front? Or are they deducted once the bond goes live? They will charge a retainer. It depends on their fees. We have donated well over 10,000 per case for different retainers. So you might want to consider all of this. I don't personally recommend accessing the Treasury Direct, but there's always those that want to do it. I don't include that in any of my documentation. People always have a tendency to still request it. Oh, the Treasury Direct form is not here. Well, it's purposely not there. Okay, number one, will tell you the process will allow you to use your account in commerce. But remember, you would then be responsible for paying taxes on whatever you use. And it could create a huge IRS bill. So be ready for handling this type of account. A bill of exchange or a international bill of exchange, BOE or IBOE, covers any taxes issues that may come first or come from this. Understand that the authorized representative of Kahan Tazadaq shows one how he's created these bill of exchanges during his webinars. Keep in mind that some have not at first been successful. And if you receive a bill from the IRS and it's over 100,000, it will be due in 10 days. So this is why I say be careful when you go into this and use any funds from it. You will have to file a return on it. And this is no joke. And this is what happened to so many people. They got reversals. When you set up the DTC, you will need a bank involved. I'm not going to suggest anything, man. See, you guys see what's there on the screen? And so, I mean, essentially, this is how you set up the Treasury Direct Account. I suggest that one become a secure party creditor. What are you waiting for? Become a secure party creditor now. Am I telling anyone to do any of this? I'm not telling anyone to do any of this. But what I am telling you is if you do not have a small business and that you have been one of those people and you have actually received a PPP loan, anticipate an indictment because they are prosecuting folks for that. That is known as fraud. Why would you want to take one of those benefits anyways? But to each his own. To each his own. So, is there anyone on the call that's actually taking any of these PPP loans? It's actually gotten pretty late here. I've been on for an hour and 40 minutes. I'll take a couple questions here, man. Then I'll close this thing down. I don't want to run too long. I'll put the link in the room. And again, I'm rebuilding the channel. As you see, my videos probably been popping up on the key phrases because of the last 3 days. I've been just sitting in front of the computer, putting out different thumbnails and specific keywords based on the topic of the video. There's going to be a lot of changes on this platform. Some of the people that I was allowing to appear on here before, these debtors that hasn't done anything, can no longer allow around me. That kind of energy is a base. Any questions? Click on the link from a Chrome browser. Anyone new on the channel, be certain to subscribe. If you have any questions, I'll entertain a few questions now. Any questions in regards to that PPP loan that a lot of people has actually been fraudulently accepting? The Cruise Live trying to get in the room. Your device is not connected. David, you have anything? Marty Mar, you have anything? Before I shut this thing down. Yeah, there's no super chat, but this channel's not monetized. You can donate here. They don't want this channel monetized, man. When Real Truth has come out, most of these channels are not monetized, man. Ace, I don't have any thoughts on the CPN. I just do what I know, brother Ace. David, Marty Ma. Oh, for one-on-one, brother, you could do phone coaching, but if it's about this, I can't do a phone coaching on this, man. You're gonna have to attend the webinars. Just way too much information. But you could do phone coaching. You just visit the website. There's links for coaching. Any other David, Marty Ma, what's going on? All right, roger that, man. Roger that. What about you, David? I don't know why he will want a CPN, brother. People have a tendency to bring things up that it's not really relevant to me, but everyone have their own reasons, I surmise. So with that, I'm going to say shalom and thank everyone for listening. If you're new to the channel, you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Be certain to like, share the video with as many people as possible. Maybe you will be able to save some of those people out there that's doing these PPP loans fraudulently. Yeah, you're still going to be liable. If you had that PPP loan, see, the loan was for someone that already had a business that was in jeopardy, the business that was in trouble. So if you start a business later, they're going to be able to look at that because everything that goes into the bank account, your bank has a responsibility to report everything in that account to the IRS annually. So if that fiat came out of that bank account and it went, let's say you sent it to Stefan, for example, you sent Stefan $7,000, then that's known as fraud. Yeah, you got to be able to prove that that business was in trouble and needed the help. And that business had to be established prior to that loan. Otherwise, a lot of folks are going to be indicted. They're indicting folks, man. A long list of people, man. There's been a lot of fraudulent activity going on with these PPP loans. And in the hood, they've been pushing, oh, yeah, I think we're going to apply for that loan. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, brother. Deal with people in the UK. There's a lot of people on my webinars from the UK, Paris. UK, Canada, you name it. Worldwide, good brother, worldwide. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, Paris. Anyone that needs a contact, Stefan the Don, man. What's going on with you, brother? Anyone that needs to contact me, what's going on, brother?
Shalom, shalom.
Here's the email.
Okay, I need to make sure my headset's right up. Here.
Is that, brother?
Okay. Yeah, I know somebody who's going down for one of them for fraudulent PPP loan.
See that?
He thought that he could get something for nothing, and me and one of my friends were trying to warn him, don't do that. You're playing with fire. He said, first of all, man, fraud is not something that they take lightly, especially when it's against the government.
But federal, and so, this is federal. This is federal.
Big risk. I mean, you're basically throwing your freedom away.
Right. I mean, why do that, man? Yeah, I mean, come, you got to know that this is federal, man. This is federal. You're looking at 80% of the time. There's a female. Let me show you guys something real quick, man. I didn't really want to put nobody else video on him, man. But there's so many people that's getting prosecuted for that, man.
Man, it's. But some people are just, their vision is like myopic. They only see, they only see like two moves ahead. Man, not really caring about the consequences that'll come down after that. Like the dude, he bought himself a new pickup truck, put some rims on it.
Wow.
Tried to, say, hey man, I'll let y'all ride in my truck. I'm like, nah, brother, I don't want any part of that. Because they're gonna come after you. And sure enough, man, that man is on the run.
Yeah, this this simple female, I think she was from Tennessee. They was talking about on the Breakfast Club. She got a PPP loan, and now the feds are after her, and she's trying to start a GoFundMe account to get the she's trying to get the money back. I'm gonna pull that up for you. I'm pulling up my hand.
Oh, Kahan.
I mean, there's case after case after case, man. This is no joke, man. Someone go ahead and do this, man.
Yeah, that man got like 20 racks. Blew it on nonsense. Man, if you're gonna do something like that, at the very least, flip it, and so you can give them their money back. But I wouldn't do it in the first place.
Here she go. Help me pay back the PPP loan. Look at this hood right. Just the name alone, man. Lakeisha Golden is. This is for all of you out there that's participating in the fraud. Right? Before I leave, Lakeisha Golden is organizing this fundraiser. A popular Instagram model, and this is an Instagram harlot, right? Allegedly set up a GoFundMe page to help her pay back a PPP loan, according to a new GoFundMe page. The page, which MTO News confirmed exists, is looking to raise $20,000 and was started by a woman named Lakeisha Golden. The page posted a photo of a pretty IG model along with the caption, "I got $20,000 PPP loan now. The feds after me. Please help. I can't go to jail. I got 3 kids that need me." DAT. It's a damn hood rat for real, man. The page has already raised more than $4,000. There's got to be simps that's sending it over there, man. A PPP loan is a small business administration backed loan that helps businesses keep their workforce employed during the COVID-19 crisis. So now, first of all, you got to have workers. So a business. Let me make this very clear. If you are self-employed, that is not a business. A business means that you have employees. So if you're one of those people and you don't have any employees, that's still fraud, man. You got to have employees. So it's supposed to be used to keep your workers employed, right, on the payroll. The program is designed for employees with 500 employees or less. What? This includes sole proprietorship. Okay, so you could be a sole proprietorship, independent contractors, and self-employed private. But you really got to be in trouble, man. Black Lives Matter leader explains why she needs a Manson. Wow. Look at that, man. That's Jake for you. And there's case after case like that, man, that I was seeing. Case after case, Stefan. And I know some people that be on this course that ask me, yo, what do you think about that? I'm like, nah, man, leave it alone. Don't touch it. And they told me I'm thinking about getting it. Don't touch it, man. Don't touch it. Nope.
It's a trap. And they doing that, they're doing that on purpose, because they know all y'all ratchet people out here are trying to get something for nothing.
And they're gonna make money off of them in commerce.
Yep. And you're gonna go into slavery. It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
Not at all. Not at all, man. In the end, they always regret it, man. So yeah, man, I'm gonna bring this to an end, man. Thank everyone for listening, man. It's getting kind of late over here. Shout out to Marty Mom, man. Keep your head up, Marty Mom. Shalom to David, man. All right, Stefan, man, be safe, King. I'm gonna go ahead and shut this down. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe, like, and share the video, man. Watch it at least 5 times, man. If you got that PPP loan, man, watch out. Shalom.